My name is Greg Bauer. I'm a managing partner of a firm called Spinnaker Venture Partners, which is a venture development firm, not a venture capital firm. Not all ideas are necessarily commercializable ideas. Not all ideas are ideas that the market truly is going to want and need. So often when dealing with a graduate student or a technologist who has developed a new technology, they love the technology, but they don't think about who's going to use that technology and for what purpose, how are they going to create good via that technology. So when dealing with a new technologist or someone who approaches us with something that is innovative and new, the first thing we try to do is sit down and identify with them whether or not there's a market need to really go after with that solution. And oftentimes a solution in and of itself, or a technology in and of itself, is not a solution in and of itself. It needs something else around it. So it's a combination of a piece of the solution here and a piece of solution there, and bringing those pieces of solutions together in an integrated systems kind of way so that they can be used to address a market need. So often that's the first conversation we'll have. Innovation in science is very often finding a new way to solve a technical problem. Now, whether it's an application of a new technology, whether it's an invention of a new technology, whether it's an invention of a new molecule, those are often the innovations that occur in science. Innovations in business very often are business model innovations. So how are we as business people going to do something that is done in a different, new way that either helps to address our clients' or our customers' market need, or to address a way to market that isn't serving us well any longer, or isn't being well served. Those two things are different, but at the same time they have to come together. Often a new product or a new innovative product needs a new business model in which to get it to market. I mean, it comes back to what we talked about before, is the very first thing we try to do, that we encourage an entrepreneur to try to do, is we try to encourage an entrepreneur or a budding entrepreneur to do the market research necessary to go out and identify what need they're trying to serve in the marketplace, what need they're trying to fill. And philosophically, we have a belief that there really isn't such a thing as a new idea, believe it or not. The world is full of millions of smart people, and most things have been tried before. Often they fail. Why do they fail? They often fail because they have not adequately addressed a need in the marketplace, or identified the need that they're trying to address in the marketplace. They haven't identified a market large enough to justify bringing capital investment behind the idea to form a business around it. And all businesses need capital in order to provide a business ecosystem around them so that business model innovation has an opportunity to succeed. And by virtue of the fact, and they often fail to achieve minimum viable product, or even achieve escape velocity, so to speak, to get out of the laboratory, because they haven't identified a path to take it to market. Why those previous innovations didn't succeed, and by doing the research and doing the analysis against that research, you can then decide whether or not your invention, your innovation, your product, whatever the case may be, has the ability to get over the chasm that the other products couldn't jump. And so it really comes down to getting out to business very early, versus trying to take the product to market just because you think it's cool. I spend a lot of time here at CIC and go to Venture Cafe many evenings, and of course this is a really interesting laboratory here, because young and old people who want to be entrepreneurs will come here, And of course, I always look for the ones on their name tags, which means it's their first visit. And I'll ask them what they're doing, and inevitably, they don't tell me about the business problem they're trying to solve, or they think they're trying to solve. They tell us about how cool their technology is. Our current company is well, the one I'll talk about today is a company called S2NRG, which is an industrial renewable energy company. And what this company does is it develops energy projects on the sites, on large industrial sites, where the site uses a lot of energy but wastes a lot of energy at the same time. So philosophically, we believe that why are we covering the world with solar cells or burning natural gas when a lot of the energy that's already used could be and is lost, could be captured and used as a new source of energy. So that's what S2 Energy does. It's an energy development company. It does have technology, but what it really has at its core is it has an innovative business model. And the innovative business model is that we partner with these large industrial sites, steel mills, aluminum smelters, glass plants, these kinds of places. We partner with these companies. We come on site. We identify where the opportunities are to create new sources of energy or capture sources of energy from energy that they're already losing. We bring energy private equity in, outside capital, not their capital, to fund the development and construction of these power plants. And we make the power and sell it to the grid and then share the economics with our host. So things that were waste to them become a new source of economics in their. It goes right to the bottom line as EBIT because it has no cost of capital, no cost of goods sold, and no operating cost. Who's our customer? Our customer is not the industrial host. They're our partner. Our customer is not the utility company. We're a supplier to them. Our customer is the energy private equity companies who have significant amounts of capital that they need to put to work, but don't have access to these kinds of projects, and nobody else does these. So it's a whole new source of energy projects for them, and a whole new source of energy for the grid. Development, meaning that we act as serial entrepreneurs as the originators and founders of new businesses, and we catalyze capital around them versus having capital and waiting for businesses to come to us to catalyze. So think of me as a serial entrepreneur. I'm trained as an electrical engineer from Ohio University. I have an MBA from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. I've been on faculty at Boston College, at the Hall International Business School, both in the MBA programs there, where I've taught courses on growth and innovation to the MBA students, part-time, not full-time. And I also mentor every year for one of the finalist teams that's competing for the $1 Million Hulk Prize in social entrepreneurism.